Hi, third graders. How are you? I don't know if you remember me, but I'm Miss Craig, and I came into your class about a month or so ago and taught you a lesson on drawing self-portraits. And when I did, we looked at some examples of self-portraits by different artists, and one of those artists was Frida Kahlo. So I thought since there are a couple more days left in March, and March is still Women's History Month, I would read a book to you about Frida Kahlo, that artist. This book is called Frida Kahlo and Her Animalitos, which is Spanish for little animals. And this is a book about Frida Kahlo when she was younger. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put on my glasses. Oh, look, one of my animalitos is here. This is Roscoe. Let me show you Roscoe. Here he is. He was in my self-portrait. All right, Roscoe, you're going to get down while we read the book. Okay, so here we go. That's not going to work. Frida Kahlo and Her Animalitos, or animals. This is the story of a little girl named Frida who grew up to be one of the most famous painters of all time. Frida was special. This is also the story of 2 monkeys, a parrot, 3 dogs, 2 turkeys, an eagle, a black cat, and a fawn. They were Frida's pets, and they were special too. Wow, that is a lot of pets. I only have 1 pet. I don't know if you have pets, but that's a lot. You can see this picture of Frida even when she's young, drawing pictures of her pets. Frida had a parrot named Bonito. Like her parrot, Frida was colorful. She liked to wear bold shades that celebrated indigenous Mexico and her own heritage. She lived in a house the color of a bright parrot's bright blue feathers, La Casa Azul. That means the blue house, where she grew up with her mom, dad, and sisters. This is what the house looked like. Frida had a pet fawn named Granzino. Like her fawn, Frida had watchful, beautiful eyes. When Frida closed her eyes, she remembered her life as a little girl. Frida was always with her father, a photographer, who taught her to look at the world through curious eyes. Frida and her father would walk to the park to collect bugs to look under a microscope. Frida's father also taught her how to paint finishing touches on his photographs. Frida loved the small brushes and the beautiful colors. So here they are out looking for bugs that they can look at under a microscope. And here's her fawn. Frida had a cat with black shiny fur, the same color as her long dark hair. Like the cat, Frida was playful, but as a child, Frida couldn't always play. When Frida was 6, she got very sick. She was in bed for a long time, but little Frida didn't get sad or bored. Instead, she used her breath to make mist on her window. And then she drew a door with her finger. Frida used her big imagination and curious eyes to walk out the door with a magic friend, a little girl who danced and played like a kitten. This is one of my favorite pages of the book, and it kind of makes me think about what's going on right now, which is us being stuck inside. A lot of us are inside and feel like we want to go out and play, and we can't. And when Frida was little, she couldn't always go out and play either, so she used her imagination to go play. Frida was independent, like a cat. Frida's sickness left one of her legs different from the other, and children made fun of her. But this didn't stop Frida from skating and riding bikes and rowing on the lakes of Chapultepec Park, so that her leg would get stronger. Frida was not afraid of doing things other little girls didn't usually do. She wore overalls, and she boxed, and she wrestled. Those are sports that usually only boys did. Frida had 2 spider monkeys. Those are little tiny monkeys. Fulang Chang and Cayamito del Guayabal. Those were their names. Like her monkeys, Frida could be mischievous. And when she was a teenager, she went to school called the Preparatoria. She found a group of friends that she loved there. Like Frida, her friends were curious to learn all they could. Together they read and studied and argued and sometimes got in trouble. Wearing matching caps, they rode donkeys through the halls of the Preparatoria and set off firecrackers. At school. She got in trouble for that. Frida had an eagle named Gertrudis. Like her eagle, Frida's imagination could fly high. When Frida was 18, she was in a terrible accident, and once again, she had to be in bed for many months. This time, Frida didn't create a magic friend, she created art. Frida's mother made her a special easel and hung a mirror over her bed so that Frida could paint. Frida used her imagination and her curious eyes just to do that. Feet, what do I need you for when I have wings to fly? That's what she used to say. And here she is in her bed, painting over her head because she had to lay down. And if those weren't enough pets, Frida had 2 turkeys and 3 dogs, Señor Cholo, Señorita Capulina, and Señora Costi. Those were their names. Frida's turkeys were intelligent and sensitive, just like herself, and like Frida, her dogs were warm and loving. When she was lonely or sad, she would wrap her arms around them and they would comfort her. Her Xolo dogs were the same breed that ran and hunted with the Aztecs thousands of years ago, and a reflection of Frida's heritage of which she was very proud. Frida's dogs had no hair on their bodies, but they were warm, and Frida gave them big hugs whenever she felt lonely or sad. These are the little dogs here that don't have any hair on their bodies. My dog Roscoe, who you saw, he has hair on his body. Frida's animalitos were spirited and entertaining, just like Frida. When her 2 spider monkeys were being good, Frida would hold them like babies. And when they were being mischievous, they would steal socks and fruit and leap through the windows so that no one could catch them. Her parrot, named Bonito, liked to snuggle under her covers while Frida took naps and would do tricks at the dinner table for pats of butter. Frida's animalitos played all day in the courtyard at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. Her husband, Diego Rivera, even made the animals a pyramid to climb so that her pets could roam freely. This pyramid is like a big play structure just for the pets. When Frida painted, her pets would keep her company, and Frida painted all the time, while the birds sang, the dogs barked, and the turkeys danced in the garden. Frida's animals were her children, her friends, and her inspiration. Here she is painting, and it looks like she might be painting a self-portrait. Here she is surrounded by all of her animalitos. Frida painted when she was sick and hurting, and Frida painted when she was happy. She also painted when Diego was gone and when she was sad. But Frida was never really alone at La Casa Azul, the bright blue house on Londres Street. She had her animalitos and herself, and she painted both. So here she is in bed again painting. Frida painted herself with Fulang Chang playing with ribbons. She painted herself with Bonito the parrot and Señor Xolo the dog. She painted her black cat too, peeking over her shoulder. Frida painted herself with all the pets she loved so much, and even butterflies and caterpillars. Her paintings were magic. And today, if you visit La Casa Azul, just outside of Mexico City, you might hear the sound of a bird or see a black cat jump from the pyramid that sits in the courtyard of the bright blue house on Laundress Street, where Frida and her animalitos lived so many years ago. So now it's a museum, a real museum that you could visit someday. And that's the end. And at the back, there's a picture of the real Frida Kahlo with one of her spider monkeys. I hope you liked this book, and maybe while you're home over these next weeks, you might want to play with animals if you have animals, or maybe do some painting. I hope you have a nice time and you're staying safe. Bye!